I'm honored and I'm actually humbled to be here, to be amongst you because for years I was in a dark place. And instead of stepping out of that dark place, which wasn't so deep, it was just a little shallow hole, I was down there decorating, putting up posters and acting like I belonged there. And that's how I had to go through the difficult journey that I had to go to get here today. I didn't want to be myself, what my mother and my father groomed me to be, but I wanted to be what they thought I was. They thought I was a tough guy that could defend them against anything, and I thought that I was supposed to be that way. I didn't have nobody to come and talk to me and tell me, look, what you thinking is totally wrong, because at that time everybody just went in their house, they mind their own business, and they locked their doors. You know, the word community didn't mean anything to them because they didn't feel that they were obligated to teach somebody else's wayward kid. So community wasn't non-existent. Everybody was for themselves. Over time, I've learned that community means more than that. Community might just mean just having somebody just to listen to you or to tell you, listen, that's wrong. You know, this is what I did and how I made it. And I think that if you put your best effort forward, you can make it. So getting right to the point, I was released August 10th, 2016. I was given $40 and a bus ticket. And I had no education or anything for the whole 27 years. 6 months and 8 days I was in prison. I went to classes and stuff where all I had to do was be there, and I got a certificate after 90 days. So they didn't care if I knew anything or not. It was just an attendance. And to give me $40 and a bus ticket and to put me out with no direction, what would I go back to doing? But you know, thank God I found a program called the Doe Fund. The Doe Fund is geared toward helping people who have been homeless and who have been formerly incarcerated. They took me in, gave me a place to stay, a roof over my head, and 3 meals, and they taught me some educational accolades that I was able to take and build a resume and able to get a job. They liked my work ethic so much in the program that they hired me. And I still work for them today. And I don't see me losing that job anytime soon, but you know. So with that being said, I want to give back. I don't want to just go in my house and close the door and say that's somebody else's problem. I'm here to serve. So maybe there's people there's people out here that maybe you can't reach, maybe you can't talk to because they've made themselves ignorant to you because they feel they feel that they're not, you know, able to address you or anything like that. But those are the type of people that maybe if they hear my story that they'll open up and be more receptive to what y'all have to give them because y'all have so much to give. I owe the community a tremendous debt that I can never repay. So I'm not going to sit back here and say this is how I give back. I represent the Doe Fund, and we're into destroying homelessness and recidivism. You see, because one thing we got to understand, every crime that's committed doesn't carry a life sentence. So that means these guys are going to be released back into the community. And I think it's our responsibility to make sure that they don't go back into that life that they was used to, that they get a reason to turn around and to be successful and to become upstanding citizens. And I'm hoping that today we'll take a step in that direction. I want you to know who I am, okay? One night we went to a club on Christmas Eve, 1988. While we were in the club, we seen some other guys, my friends thought that they were a threat to them because they looked tough. So they wanted to prove to them that they were tougher than they were. This is so many words. Maybe they'll try to justify some other type of way, but this is what it came down to. So now these guys, when we went outside, I told them, I said, well, if anybody is after us, they'll come after us. I said, let's walk away. So if anybody follows us, then we know they're a threat. Instead of them coming outside and following me, they want to stay there and go, you don't know who you messing with. So now these guys felt that they were tested, so they produced guns, we produced guns, and there was a shootout. Okay, 4 people were shot. My best friend was killed. I would later find out through ballistic tests that the gun I fired was the gun that killed my best friend. So when I went to prison for murder, not only did I go to jail for murdering somebody, but I went to jail for killing my best friend that I grew up with. I went to jail at 22 years old, and I came out 49. And it was for killing my best friend. And the whole time I used to always be like, God, well, why did you let me do this? Why couldn't you stop me with something early, like a grand larceny or something where I can just say, okay, I get a little brush, and then I say, okay, that's enough. But he told me all the time, he said, because you wouldn't listen to none of that stuff. You would have kept going. I needed something really strong to convince you that what you were doing was wrong. Now, I'm not saying that every person that goes to jail have a story like that where they see, the light, but it was through all that suffering that I realized that I had did a great injustice and that I needed to turn it around, but I didn't have a way within myself. And this program offered me the way. And now that it's offered me the way, I'm going to keep my foot wedged in the door so I can help somebody else get through it, as many people as I can.
That's great.